we do, now this is where we get a little bit of participation happen in the room. Now, before the webinar started, I mentioned to some of you that if I'm going to be asking questions, and I expect you to only answer with sincerity. Okay, and I know that seems kind of weird, right? You know, I don't want you to have any skepticism. I don't want you to have any cynicism in here. And I know this seems like a very general question, right? What is your goal? But I have some rules before you answer the question. The goal that I see for myself is it about money? Is it about time? Is it about working from home? Whatever it might be, make sure that it's obtainable. I'm not talking, what is your goal? I want a house in the Maldives. That's not going to do it. You know, what is an obtainable goal for you that you need to see happen for you in this industry, in this thing that you're trying to do? Because many of you have different reasons why you're here. Some of you want to work from home. Some of you want to do, you know, you want to make a lot of money. Some of you just want some, you know, standard bread so you could make the bills. Some of you want some extra money that, you know, may, you know, go to college, whatever the reasoning is, whatever the source of your reasoning is. Tonight, I want to hear from some of you, what is your realistic money goal to receive, to get every single month? What is that for you? If you could type it into the chat room, if you can, I'd really appreciate just to see some numbers in there, and we can kind of work with those. And remember, just keep it reasonable and keep it thoughtful, and put some numbers in now. Ted says $2,000 per month. Sam says $2,000 a week. That's good too. $2,000 a month, 6 to 8. There you go. So I can also start a business. That's a great goal. That's a supplemental into a progression. That's awesome. Great job, Greg. That sounds wonderful. Or it says $850 a month. Very obtainable goal. Very reasonable. It seems about most of you that are in there have an idea that you're not here. So pretty much safe to say everybody here doesn't think they're going to make $1 million tomorrow, right? Timothy says $100,000 a year. Thank you that you put a year there, not a day. That's right. That's good. $100,000 a year is obtainable. And the reason why I can say that, you know, because the lawyers always come in here and say, don't tell them how much money they can make. You can make anything you want to make. I'll be honest with you. You can make anything you want to make. It's going to take a lot of work. Now, I'm putting 4 to 5 hours in a day, 4 to 6 hours a day in trading, and that information yields me about 6,000 to 8,000 a month, depending on what I trade on the average. Some months I could do 13. Some I could do less than that, because it all matters to my time, my energies, my consistency, my personal value of what I have time to trade with. And that's what that comes down to. Now, I'm not saying that any of your numbers are weak. I'm not one of those people that's going to try to entice you by fanning a whole bunch of $100 bills out or showing my sports car in the garage. I don't have one. I have a Buick Enclave, right? It's one step over from minivan. I'm okay with that. Okay, but I'm that person that doesn't live beyond their means or try to be flashy or all that kind of stuff. You know, I like my toys, I like my guitars and my pianos and my music gear and things like that. But that's for me. I've seen somebody in there, Greg said he wanted to start a business. The concept of your goal is you have to have it obtainable in your first stages, right? If you try to tell yourself, you know, and I know, please don't try to go down those lines like, well, the secret says that universal attraction says that I need to envision my home. Absolutely. You're going to need to have that, right? But along the way, you got to be able to put the door on the building, right? You can't just say, I want a $50 billion home and it's going to appear tomorrow. You've got to do the work to it. Envisioning is great, but envisioning is only the map sitting in your hand. It's not the vehicle that gets you there, right? You have to know your pathway to be able to get there. And that's what this is. Envisioning a good goal for yourself is a reward for you, okay? Now, the only suggestions that I have with some of these is like the $100,000 a year, Timmy, is a great concept of getting to that. What does that break down into segments for you. You know, how much time do you have to work, right? How much effort does it take to put into it, right? And how much dedication you have. I was just messing with you. I did that on purpose to Ted, right? Okay, sorry, Ted. But really, it does come down to a few things. It comes down to whatever your goal is has to be able to be broken down into your availability, into your method of trades. So since I trade 4 to 6 times a day, and my average that I make per trade, if I trade just one contract, is $20, right? Let me get over to the whiteboard here because it's probably a little bit better here. So if I trade 4 to 6 times a day, and I'm trading an average of $20 per contract, when I win, I'm going to win 20, right? Now on Nadex, if you lose, you're going to lose 80 and all that stuff. We won't even talk about success rates at the moment. Let's just say that I'm decent. I'm 90% and above, right? And so with one contract apiece, we alluded to this a little bit before with CVG, just one contract, you know, how much does it take for me to get to that point? So if I'm trading about like this and I'm making about anywhere between, I'd say $80 to $100 a day trading one contract, let's just keep it up here for ease of use, right? And I'm trading 20 days a month. What does that yield out to? About 2K, right? Did I get that math right? Right? Not 2,000K, but about $2,000, right? What does it take to get to this part? Well, it takes a lot of training, a lot of demo trades to get to an idea how all the tools and all the effectiveness works, but it's obtainable because I'm already doing it, right? At one contract. I trade between, sometimes I trade, right now I'm trading 5 contracts at a time. So the point being, okay, because there's losses in here, so you got to keep that in mind. That's why I'm doing between 6,000 and 8,000, right? So now, just at the work level that I'm doing, I'm meeting Greg's 6,000 to 8,000. I'm pretty damn near close to Timothy's 100,000. I'm about 72,000 a year. But again, I'm not Timothy, right? Timothy might not be running a multi-million-dollar company at the same time because I have this. There's Dex Signals, Dex Indicators, Dex FX World. I have a game building company. I'm a musician, a full-time father, all that stuff, right? So whatever your timing is, and this is how it all breaks down, whatever your timing is now, is that the numbers are obtainable. If you set your goal reasonable, the numbers are obtainable. But once you make them, how do you expand on them? CVG. This concept came to me. I was sick back in January of last year. And I called my brother and said, I don't think I'm going to be able to trade as much as I normally do. And he asked me why not. I said, it's just, I just don't feel good. And I said, I do this one trade that's really, really consistent. I'm just going to add a bunch of contracts onto that. I'll add a bunch of volume to it to get to my goal for the day. Sort of came out to be. That's my flux capacitor moment, right? So once I thought that, then everything else started to change. I understood my goal a little bit better. What was the consistency that could lead me to add volume? And that's where a lot of people they lose their mind. You begin to think that, all right, well, I've done 3 trades in a row now. Now I'm good. Let me add volume. No, it's a very methodical, very long, enduring process to be able to do. We call it the incremental crawl. You'll learn a lot more about that inside. So now that we have an understanding of what our goal is and how in that getting to it can be very simple, and it's all really about the numbers, right? It's all really about the base of consistency. Can we all agree with that fact that to reach your goal, you need to become consistent? Is that a fair statement? If you could answer yes, if it is, if it's not something you think you can do, then answer no, and I'll try to explain it even better. But if yes, we'll move on.